Hello, everybody. Hello. Oh, I love seeing everybody tuning in. We are so glad that you are here. Hello. I see everybody is popping in with where they're located. We're so glad that you are here and that you've decided to take some time today to hang out with us, talk about the Happy Planner. Hello. For those of you on the East Coast and in Florida, God bless you guys. I am praying for you. Our thoughts are definitely with you during this time. So stay safe. And hopefully over the next few minutes, you'll find some respite, you'll get some peace, and just have some joy creating with me. And then you can set aside the cares of the world for 45 minutes to an hour from now. My name is Elizabeth. I am the girl behind the Joyful Sojourn, and today we are hanging out with the Happy Planner. I'm just really, really blessed with this opportunity to spend time with you. So thank you again. Oh, Puerto Rico. Love that. All right. So I thought it would be helpful to go over the three things that we're going to go over in this class. So first and foremost, I want to go over some of the tools that I use for decorative and creative planning with the Happy Planner. These are tools that I have duplicates of because I have some here in my office and I have some in my house because I want to have them everywhere. So I'm going to share with you my favorite tools. The second thing we're going to do is I'm going to go through some mock spreads and old planner spreads with you to show you a bunch of different layouts the Happy Planner offers and to show you how I've creatively and decoratively set them up and planned with them. And then the third thing we're going to do in this class is we're going to plan we're going to set up a spread together. So make sure that you have your Happy Planner with you, some stickers, and maybe some of these tools you might already have. And we're going to take the tools that I recommend. We're going to take some of the tips and techniques from my mock spreads, and it's going to culminate all together in our Plan With Me session tonight. I'm going to be using a classic dashboard. So we know that the vertical planner is one of the most popular layouts from the Happy Planner. So if you are a vertical planner, maybe leave a heart, say vertical what, and then make sure you sign up for Desiree's class next week. She's going to be planning in a vertical. If you're a dashboard person, you are going to enjoy this video, but I'll make sure that we go over using that same technique, the same theme, the same style in multiple layouts. So enough of the chatting. I'm going to switch over to the bottom table facing so you guys can see my hands and we'll go from there.
I see a lot of love for dashboard and vertical. We love it.
All right, definitely make sure that you leave those leave questions and comments in the box. Madison's going to route those to me throughout this session. So if you have any questions along the way, I really want this to be like a bunch of friends hanging out. Make sure if you have any suggestions for other planners, leave those in the comments as well. My hope is that this is a time where we can just be together and enjoy our paper planners. Okay, so the first thing I want to go over is my favorite tools. These are items available at Michael's and they are my must-have tools. If there's anything that I don't have that you think I should have, make sure you leave that in the comments as well so that people can add that to their Hanukkah, Christmas, birthday wish lists. So I'm going to pull over my basket first and we're going to start with, I don't want to start with pens. Let's start with cutting tools first. My must-have tools in the cutting genre are scissors. And of course, I didn't grab what I should have grabbed, a craft knife. So when we're talking about cutting tools, I like to have two different sizes of scissors. I like having these Fiskars small scissors. These are great for fussy cutting. That is when you want to make really tight turns around your stickers or your paper. You want to really kind of get into detailed cutting. I love having short, small scissors like these ones. I also love having really big scissors like this for cutting larger areas. I'm going to talk a little bit about stickering, where you're actually cutting the stickers before you put them down on the paper. And when I do that, I like to have larger blades for that. So we have the larger scissors here. And then lastly, a craft knife. This is Fiskars again. This is just a crafting knife that I use to kind of detail cut around my stickers when I'm placing them down. So those are the cutting tools. And I like to have all three. So I have duplicates of these everywhere. And then the next tool that I love for decorative planning is a bone. This is a paper folding tool, and it's one of the most affordable ways to kind of up your craft game when it comes to stickers. I use this to really press in my clear stickers into the paper. It removes the air between the sticker and the paper, and it's just a really nice finishing touch. I'm going to move quickly, so if you have any questions, please feel free to interrupt me. The next tool that I love is tweezers. These you can typically find in like the beading and jewelry aisle, but they are so great for paper crafting. I like sharper ones for removing stickers from sticker sheets. And then I like more blunt ones that have a longer handle to kind of see where I want the sticker to place on the planner, see where I want it to go. It removes my hand from the perspective or from the view as I'm trying to figure out where I want to place my decorative elements. So tweezers are a must-have. The next two, correction tape and glue runner. These are just great staples to have. I love Tombow products, and so the Mono Air is one of my favorite correction tapes. When it comes to glue tape, I'm not really picky, but usually I actually get the Elmer's one that Michael's also has. So glue tape and tape runner, and we'll, or correction tape, and we'll go over probably how to use at least the correction tape today. I always love to have a ruler. It's just nice to have. Sometimes I use it to draw in my own lines. Sometimes I will use it to put individual stickers on, like an alphabet. Let's say I want to spell out tasks. I'll put a T, an A, an S, a K, and an S along the ruler, and it'll make sure that it's evenly spaced out. The letters are spaced out. I'll stick it on the paper and I'll push it down and slide it out. And it's a way to get alphabet and number stickers down, you know, neatly and straight. So I love a ruler. This is the We Are Memory Keepers Power Disc Punch. This, I would say, this is a luxury item. Like if you're working on your wish list, this would be one to have. But this is really great. This is for punching more or repunching your disc-bound planner when you just have a single punch that you need to punch through. So when you're decorative planning, sometimes you'll have stickers that are going to cover up your holes. And this is going to allow you to just punch the one disc or the one punch. Am I making sense? This will allow you to punch the one hole that has the sticker over it. Obviously, if you need to punch a whole piece of paper, the Happy Planner has punches for that. This is just for one-off punches. Washi tape is another thing that I love to have. Michael's has a lot of graph grid washi and solid washi tapes. These are really fun. I'm going to show you how to use washi tapes in your planner tonight as well. And then we move to pens. Okay, so there are a few must-have pens for me. Of all the pens that I'm about to show you, this is my most like desirable. I have multiples of these. This is the Uniball Broad Signal White pen. It is a rich, thick, white inked pen. And this is what I use for removing lines in my planner when I want a seamless finish with my decorating. So this is like the must pen for me. I want to share this pen set with you. This is the Tombow beginner lettering set. And this has so many good things to kind of get you started. It's got a brush pen. It's got two of the bigger brush pens in gray and black. It's got a pencil and an eraser, and then a permanent pen. This is great for your translucent sticky notes. So I love this set. And then other things I really love to use for planning. Again, I love dot pens. I love Tombow markers, zebra mild liners, Uniball pens, and paper mini flares. So before we go on to the mock spreads, I really moved quickly with the tools. Does anybody have any questions about the tools? Any questions about tools before we get moving to some sample spreads?
I think We're good. Everyone's very excited. But again, you guys, we do have that list here. And when we post the YouTube video, these will all be linked in the description as well. So if you need to go back and check it out, you can find everything that Elizabeth uses there on the YouTube description as well.
All right. So the next thing I want to do is talk about some sample spreads. I'm going to point out some different things that I've done over the years in these various mock spreads. And then we'll take some of those elements and we'll plan together right afterwards. So let me start with this spread. Hold on just a moment. Okay. So this is the first spread I want to show you for talking about tips and tricks. This is the Happy Plan. All of the planners that I'm showing you and the inserts I'm showing you are classic size. So in this first one, this is the teacher layout, which I love, even though I'm not a teacher. I love the way that it's aligned vertical. I love that I can plan horizontally if I want to. And I always want to have fun decorating, but I have to make sure that my planner is functional. So in this example, I didn't have a super busy week. So I used the top 2 sections to decorative date. Decorative dating is my number, well, we won't rank it as my number 1 tip, but it is one of the ways that you can get decorative and creative in your planner without losing functionality. So this is a little bit opulent because I've taken so much of the page, but I'll show other ways where I've decoratively dated, taking up less space. But here I've used Happy Planner stickers. I've used mild liners to create my own headers for the week. And then I decided to have my priorities, my to-dos, and just notes categorized here, and I'm planning across the page this way. On this particular week, I had plenty of room to write, and when I opened up my planner, it was really cute, and it made me happy. And so I think that's really one of the most important things when it comes to decorative planning is we do it because it's healthy for the mind, it's helpful for the spirit, and doing something creative is really important. It's something that I encourage folks to do every day. But we also want to make sure that we have functional spreads as well. And so this was a spread that had me coming back to my planner. And that's really the secondary kind of piece of it is when you decorate your planner, you're more likely to use it. And when I decorated the spread, I felt happy. And so this is one of my favorite spreads, and it's quite simple. I didn't use a ton of stickers. I just used pens and the Stick Girls, which is a cult classic from the Happy Planner. The next spread I want to share with you, this is in a vertical layout, and this is using scrap paper. So if you are coming from the scrapbooking world, the memory keeping world, you might have a lot of papers. I have a ton of paper packs from Michaels, and they've kind of been sitting around for a while. And I always forget that you can take out those paper packs, you can rip them and create really cool edges, and you can decorate your planners using ripped paper and glue runner. So this is a spread. It has no stickers in it. Even these boxes are paper from a paper pad from Michaels. So just make sure that you look over your space, look at what you have, and just have fun with what you have. If you don't have a lot of stickers, you can use paper. Just rip it up. You can fussy cut it with those small scissors and glue them down. And it gives you that same kind of impact. So this was a vertical layout. And I don't know if you look at it right off the bat, I don't know if you would go, oh, wow, that's a vertical planner. So you can really play with things and make the layout what you want it to be. The next is a dashboard. And here we use some old sewing stickers from the Happy Planner. And I wanted to highlight here my use of washi tape. So because I'm all about making sure that my Happy Planner is functional, as much as possible, I try to leave as much writing space as possible on the spread. Did I say possible multiple times? I think I did. I really value the paper space because I need to be able to plan. So here I'm showing you another way to decorative date to, you know, have a decorative look to the page, but you haven't lost any functionality in your main boxes. And I used washi tapes and date stickers or days of the week stickers to just make this box look prettier. And I still have plenty of space with my tasks over here. And I used fun boxes and words, and again, washi tape, just to relabel the headers to make it look cute. So if you're new to decorative planning and you really have a lot to write down, make sure that you are trying decorative dating first and kind of decoratively setting up the headers. And then you can leave the rest of it plain. You don't have to add a bunch of clusters. You don't have to do a lot of complicated things. If you just decorative date and redo your headers, you can really easily make something beautiful. Excuse me, make something beautiful. And then as you have more time, you can add more and more and more. So that is the dashboard. I have another dashboard here to show you, totally different vibes. Excuse me. And I wanted to show you with this one, we changed the layout again. I used stickers here to play with the boxes. I used individual letters to redo the headers. And one of the things I wanted to point out in this spread is the Happy Planner has a lot of bullet list stickers in their sticker books. And people swear by them for their checklists. You know, planning is incredibly personal and we have to do what works for us. I don't personally use the checklist in the sticker books, but I'm all about using what I have. And so I very frequently use the checklist stickers like washi tape. So I wanted to pull this spread out to show you how these bullet lists are used as a decorative element here on my dashboard. Okay, are you guys still with me? Any questions so far as I'm going through these highlights? I promise we'll get to the planning. I just want to make sure that I can show you as much as possible in the time that we have. And if y'all have a good time, then make sure you let Michaels and the Happy Planner know. Hopefully we can do this again sometime. So let me switch over to, this was one of my favorite spreads of all time, so much so that I couldn't decorate it. And let me just say that if you have a planner that you don't have any plans for, you just want to play and throw down washi and stickers, please do that. Nobody can tell you that it's a waste of time or money. If you need a happy planner that is just for decorating, live your life, friends. And that's what this spread was for me. Oh my gosh, this was the LaFleur sticker book. I don't know if it's still available. It also had matching washi tape, sweet niblets, you guys. It was so beautiful. And here you can see, I actually have plenty of writing space. I've left these boxes mostly open, but I layered 3 washi tapes down and I decorative dated the date and the day of the week. Same thing on the dashboard side. I have my to-do list here. I used a dot pen on this margin sticker. I made this my to-do box. I threw down a quote and then I added another sticker down here for additional writing space. So again, make it what you want it to be. If you just want to decorate for fun, that's okay too. If you need your planner to be functional, decorative date, redo the headers, and I'm going to show you when we decorate in a little bit, another fun look for you. The next one I want to show you, and I promise we are almost done, maybe 2 more mock spreads. This is the fitness layout, okay? I love the fitness layout. If you've never tried it before, it's one of my favorites. I don't know what it is. There's something about the box here that I always just love to decorate. In this spread with the fitness layout, I did not do fitness things. I have the top box be for what was happening that day. And then I had a journaling section and then how I was feeling. I think I was pregnant when I made this spread. And so I really just needed a space to write. And so I wanted to show this to you because it is, again, a decorative dated, right? Just to add some intrigue up here. And this is a layout that is advertised as a fitness planner, but I didn't use it as a fitness planner. One of the things that I will say over and over again at the Joyful Sojourn is you do not have to use planners the way that they're marketed, and hopefully Madison is okay with me saying that. But the fitness layout is great for other purposes. The teacher layout is great as a subject layout. You do not have to use planners the way that they are advertised. So I wanted to show this example of a fitness planner. And then we're almost done, friends, in this portion. This is a horizontal classic. And what I wanted to highlight here, again, is decorative dating using pens and clear numbers, but also rethinking the horizontal by adding my own boxes. And these are boxes that I drew myself. So there might be times when you want to play with stickers, totally cool. And then there are other times when you just want to play with pens, you want to play with inks. I feel like I'm in my ink era right now, inks and stamps. And so I will definitely be sharing more inks and stamps in my Happy Planner because I just love the look of it. But this is me kind of heading in that direction where I'm mixing media. I'm mixing pens and I'm mixing stickers. And I have just a fun, kind of crafty looking spread with the Happy Planner discs and the buttons. So that is the horizontal. And then before we get to the planners, I am going to show some planners that I have mock spreads of that that Michael's has. Hopefully, how are we doing on time? You guys, I have so much to show you.
We're at
I wanted to share with you, how are we doing, Madison? Are we doing okay?
We're good. We're at 4:24, so just a little over 30 minutes left.
Okay. I wanted to say one thing about, before we go to the planners, I wanted to share filler paper. So filler paper is another great way to diversify and have more writing space and decorative space in your planners. And I didn't know that Michael's had this filler paper in their collection, but I love it. So this has an open section on the left side for dot grid lines, and then the back is all lines. And so I wanted to show you really quickly, this is a spread that I made for a daily sheet using that filler paper. Because that's already a different color, I just used dot pens to number from 6 to 10. I put in my most important things that day. And then I left this mostly open with a few highlight boxes. If you're doing like a daily devotional or reading, you could call that out in the box. Top 3 priorities, and then just open space for brain dumping. So I wanted to make sure I highlighted filler paper because if you do follow me on social media, you know I just love playing with different layouts, and filler paper is definitely a part of that. Okay. Oh my goodness. You guys mind if I take a sip of water? We're moving quickly. Hold on.
Everyone is very excited. We love getting to see the comments, and everyone is loving all the tips that you're giving. So this has been so fun getting to see the excitement.
Good, good, good. Okay. So I wanted to, we'll do this quickly because we are decorating today, I promise. But again, I just want to make sure that you guys feel inspired to play in your planners. And I feel like showing as many spreads as possible will get us there. Let's start with this color block layout. This is Radiant Garden. This is available at Michael's. This is probably one of the most beautiful covers I've seen from the Happy Planner, and I absolutely love it. The color block layout can be controversial because people don't know what to do with it. So I wanted to make sure that I shared with you some samples. So first, let me just show you actually, this is the color block layout. And I don't want to do a full flip through of this planner. I'm sure that you can find it online on the Happy Planner website. But this is the color block layout. And I love that it has the ability to be kind of designed as a subject planner. So I want to share with you this first. This is a sample of the color block layout being used for meal planning and wellness. So if you do not have a wellness planner, or you have one planner to rule them all, I wanted to show that this planner could be used for health and wellness. And that is by putting down different boxes and different categories down the left margin and then planning horizontally across. So a lot of folks talk about how they really love the teacher planner, but they have to redate it up at the top because it's dated Monday through Friday on this side. The color block layout is going to get you pretty darn close to the teacher planner because it has the dates at the top. So here I've got breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, my daily stats. So this would be like from my fitness watch, and then reading if I'm reading. Over here, I'm a little loosey-goosey because it's the weekend. And then I have maybe a little bit of an explanation for what happened this week. As far as deco goes, I do want to highlight a couple of things I did here. I've got washi tape ripped. I always rip my washi. It just always looks rad. Highly recommend it. I also recommend doing things in sets of 3, if possible. An odd number when it comes to stickers and washi always pops. And then the other thing that I did throughout this spread is I cut my stickers. Cutting your stickers is going to make beautiful spreads. So please don't be afraid to rip your washi and to cut your stickers. And again, that is something that we are going to do today. This is a traditional kind of family layout in the color block. Same thing, you can put your subjects going down the left margin and plan horizontally across. So I have my tasks in the top 2 sections. I've got any meetings and appointments here, my spouse, my child, and then meal plans for the week. And then I kind of think of the weekend a little bit differently. I've got a shopping list here, looking forward to next week, and then things I have going on Saturday and Sunday. We're moving fast. We're moving fast. Next is for work. I did use this layout for a long time when I was working outside the home. And this is, I've actually put lines down to replicate a vertical layout. So the top 2 sections are priority. The top 2 sections are to-dos. And then here is like all of my meetings with the 2 shaded boxes down at the bottom. And then for today, I'm so excited to share with you guys, we're not using this layout, but what we're going to do today in the dashboard layout is create a really beautiful design of flowers cascading across the page. And I chose to do that design because I think it can be done in multiple layouts while still maintaining the functionality of your planner. So this will make more sense when we get to the planning. So I'm going to set this aside. Wanted to show this other planner. This is the horizontal layout. And let me go all the way back here. Okay, so the horizontal planner for 2025 has changed. There are now bullet lists of 2/3 of the way through on each day. And some people love it. Some people are confused by it, but don't worry, I've made some mock spreads to show you how to work with it. But in this first layout for the horizontal, I just wanted to show you how I created my own boxes. There's tons of writing here, but it is still functional. And again, I did decorative dating to make it look pretty. Let me move this clip. Here is an example of the new horizontal layout. You can't see the check mark or check boxes here because I've put boxes down to log the books that I'm reading. So this is an example of a reading book or a devotional time or a faith journal where you put boxes down over the check boxes with what you're reading. And then the rest of the space is just filled in with journaling. And if there's a day that you didn't read, maybe you can use it as a to be read list. So this is one suggestion for the new horizontal layout. Here is a more traditional use of the new horizontal layout where I've really differentiated the checklist section from the other side of the dailies. We've got my schedule, my family schedule highlighted in gray. I've got important events in the middle, and then lists and to-dos on the 3rd column. And then the last example in the new horizontal, I know that if you were using the horizontal for journaling, you might go, oh, there's boxes now. These boxes are so thin and so light. This is a journaling spread and you can't see the boxes. So I wanted to make sure I showed this because I knew there was, question about the new horizontal, but this is a journaling spread and you can't see the boxes. So I thought that was really, really cool. So, oh my goodness, so much stuff. Are we ready to actually plan? Is everybody ready? Okay, so grab your dashboard planner, pull your discs or your papers down from the top down. And the sticker book that I'm going to use today is, see if I can find it, Radiant Garden. This thing is gorgeous, you guys. Beautiful sticker book. It has rich jewel tones, lots of blacks. But what I want to hone in on today is the clear florals. So we're going to make a sweeping floral design across the page. I'm going to try to do this quickly. We'll change up the headers and you'll be able to see how you can create something alive and colorful with lots of stickers, but still have plenty of room to write. That's really the main goal today. So here's our dashboard. I'm going to start with these clear stickers and I'm going to grab my tools, my most used tools. So I'm going to grab my tweezers. I'm going to grab my, I'm sorry, you can hear my dog barking. This is real life, friends. I'm going to grab my white pen. I'm going to grab my scissors. Now, let's say that I have a lot going on in the later part of the week, and I want to make sure that I preserve the integrity of my task list. So what I'm going to do is do a design of florals going across the page and kind of flowing out. It's one of my favorite spreads. I've done it multiple times and it's so impactful. And once you've figured out how to do it, it doesn't take that much time. So I'm going to take the biggest stickers. Yes, this is Radiant Garden. This sticker book has big stickers here, and then it has smaller individual, well, those are more clusters there, but there were smaller individual blooms here, and that is going to be perfect for flowing up the page. So I'm going to start taking these stickers, and from this corner, I'm going to go all the way up, and I'm going to try to keep it as dense as possible at the beginning of the flow. Now this has an extra stem there. I'm going to cut that stem off. Again, you can cut stickers, guys. It's okay. I do it all the time. So I didn't want that kind of dangling stem. So I cut that off and I'm going to put that there. And I'm taking my largest stickers first. And yep, I'm going to do this too. I got to keep it authentic to how I would be planning. So I'm going to put this guy here, and it looks confusing at first, but trust the process, friends. I want to make sure I want to bring in some of these kind of orange colors as well. This is really pretty. I think I can make this work. So I'm going to go ahead and put this here, but I want to bulk it up because the idea is to have the most flowers at this corner, and it's going to float off towards the end of the page. So I'm going to just fill this in with some other colors to diversify it, diversify the colors, bulk it out. So I'm just bulking it out. If anybody has a question, let Madison know. I'm also going to grab my bone because remember, it's one of my most favorite tools. And it's budget friendly. It's an easy way to just make your planners look like pieces of art. So all I'm doing is I'm scraping the sticker, like pushing it down onto the page to remove the air between the sticker and the paper. Now I'm going to take, let's see, I think I want to do a little bit more with the bigger ones with stems. And then I'm filling in with some of these smaller stickers. Now I lost some of the functionality in this notes box, but there is plenty of writing space here for my needs. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to create a flow on the page so that no one box is hit too hard, okay? So I wanna make sure that, you know, if I go into Thursday or Wednesday or Monday, no, there's not too many flowers. It's not going to take up too much space. So I'm going to flip over to no, we don't want the individual stems quite yet. Ooh, I love the sticker book. Oh my gosh, this is so pretty. I haven't fully flipped through this sticker book. I cannot tell a lie. I have not done a full flip through. So I'm seeing it for the first time too. My goodness.
We get to see your process, which speaking of, I have a question that came in that said, they love the confidence that you use when you're putting down your stickers. And how did you get to that point now where you feel the confidence to just kind of go for it as you're planning?
You can always turn the page, friends. You can always turn the page. If you make a mistake, well, first of all, is there really mistakes in art? I mean, people get paid millions of dollars to make, you know, one dot on a canvas. It's all totally objective. But first of all, I've spent a lot of time decorative planning, and I've done this technique before. It just takes practice. Like any muscle that you want to build, it just takes time. But knowing that there's a new week coming, that you can always turn the page, gives me another opportunity to try again the next day or the next week. So be okay with not liking your spread one week, and know that the next week is going to give you another opportunity to try something new. But it does take time. I've been doing this for years, and yeah, it just takes time. You can do this. I promise you can do this. If you just play with stickers a little bit every week, just take some time. Like, this is self-care, guys. You know, some people get manicures, some people get facials, some people read a book. Your girl, stickers. I do stickering. So just have fun with it.
I love it.
So I'm starting to kind of slow down and lay down some, I don't want two orange pieces next to each other. So here's a little thing when it comes to design. You want things to be balanced, and you don't want things to be too parallel, too matchy-matchy. You don't want two things next to each other. So while these flowers are the same color, or excuse me, while they're different flowers, they are the same color or same colorway, and I don't like that. I haven't done a pink in a while, so now I know I should probably do another pink up here. So your eye will slowly start to notice these things, and you'll start to learn balance just naturally with time. Hopefully that that is encouraging. It just takes time. I mean, practicing playing with stickers is it's easy. Just make time for it, and you'll find your way. So I'm trying to kind of flow them out. It's hard to talk and decorate at the same time. I will say that. Definitely tricky. Let's do another pink one up. Actually, let's do this one up here. So I definitely took up a lot of Tuesday. I don't like that. So I'm going to very gently pull up the sticker. I wanted to make sure I made at least one mistake for you guys to see how I fixed it. If you've just laid a sticker down and you want to peel it up, push the sticker down as you're peeling, and you won't have that lift off of the paper. So push down and then peel while you're adding pressure to the paper. You can see that sticker got removed just fine, and it didn't lift up the paper at all. So I'm going to put this right here because I want to keep some room for Tuesday, and maybe we just do like a little kind of leaf. I feel like we need a little bit more there. Maybe we'll go right there. So I could do more, but I want to make sure we have time to finish this spread. I'm going to take my scissors and cut this. And this is going to give us an opportunity to use our Memory Keepers power disc punch. So I'm going to punch this really quick, and you just line up the holes and punch. And I'm going to do the same thing with this piece. Line up the hole with the mushroom punch and punch. And then I've just punched the ones that were covered with stickers. Okay, so I'm going to press these stickers down. Let's get to headers and stuff. So we've got just a really simple kind of flow up the page, very pretty. Now we want to do some decorative dating, and I think I'll keep it really simple with the decorative dating, but we will do headers as well. So again, bullet lists are great for washi tape. So if you don't use these in a traditional sense, pull them off and use them like washi. It's one of my favorite ways to get through my stash. Ooh, okay, so we have a fun space here that I might want to write something down in. So let's just make it cute though. So I'm going to use these diamond boxes. And let's see, we've got an orange. There's an orange sticker here, and this flower is orange. So I don't want to put these next to each other. I'm just pointing that out because sometimes it's hard to explain my process when I'm decorating and I'm like, what did I just do? I decided not to use that sticker because there's 2 orange flowers there. So hopefully it's helpful for you guys to hear why I just put that sticker back. So I'm going to put this diamond sticker here, and I'm going to put this one right next to it. I like connecting those sides, and we have a little bit of room here too. So why not? We've got pink, we've got purple. Let's grab an orange. This orange noted, and maybe we just use special notes right here. Do I know what's going to go in these boxes? Not sure. But maybe it's just a highlight from the week, or 2 highlights, maybe a high and a low for the week. Doesn't really matter. But I have that writing space still, even though I covered up a good portion of it. So let's look for some functional boxes. These boxes are excellent for decorative dating. So we're going to add some texture. This is just grid washi. You can get a set of grid washi at Michael's. I don't know if they're able to link this down below, but I love adding washi with texture and designs on it because it just kind of, I don't know, it adds a little something, something. So I'm going to take a bunch of this washi. I'm going to rip it down the center, and I'm going to, oh no, I'm going to cover up my dates. Seems a little ridiculous because this planner is dated. Well, actually it's undated, but I just want to add a little bit more dimension to this. So I'm taking my washi tape, I'm ripping it in half, and I'm worried about time, friends. We might have to expedite this. Maybe only date half the week. All right. Heck, I did not want to peel off. Let's try this again. I'm going to take off a way bigger piece, and we'll go this way. So again, I'm taking a piece of washi and I'm just ripping it in half. It's going to create shards of washi, and that is perfect. We love a shard of washi. It just is so fun. It adds a little bit of texture. I'd love to know, do people use washi? I thought for a while washi was, it was having its moment, and then it kind of dropped off. So let us know, are you team washi, or I don't know what to do with it. It's too much.
We're seeing some very positive reactions to washi tape. Yes.
Oh, good. Good. Yeah, I feel like it's underrated. We need to use it more. So I'm going to give you an example of decorative dating. I've ripped the washi. It's shards. It looks messy. Now I'm going to take these blank boxes, and should we go wonky or straight? When I say wonky boxes, it's, do we go kind of at an angle, or do we leave it flat? Ooh, I see. I actually looked up at the screen just in time to see someone say wonky. So I'm going to show you some wonky boxes, and we're going to go down with this one. Ooh, that's a little too, you don't want it to be like too wonky. This is where our tweezers come in handy. I've got sausage fingers, friends. So I love tweezers because it removes my hands from the view of the paper. So I like to kind of place those down like so. So that guy is, oops, we already did green. That guy's kind of going down. Actually, since that guy, it's easier to go from this way. So that guy's pointing up. So this guy is going to go, hold on, guys. This is green. We don't want green right there. No, ma'am. And we don't have pink in the area. So let's change things up. So that box is going up. This box, I'm trying to talk and do this at the same time. That is going to go down. And then this one is going to go up. And then this one is going to go down. And let's see, that went down. So we're going to have this one go up. And I'm just trying to make sure the colors are spread out. We'll go down on that one. And let's throw a blue in there. That one's down. Let's go up with that one. So again, you could do this with an undated planner, or you could do it with a dated planner. It's the easiest way to keep your planner functional, but still have like a decorative element to it. Let's grab the Tombow. This is the Fuda no Suki brush pen. This was in that lettering set. And I'm just going to do really poor lettering because I'm not a letterer. I'm sure Michael's has classes on lettering. I am not your girl for that, but I'm going to just do Monday, Tuesday, and I'm shaky because y'all are intimidating. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I'd love to know if there's anybody out there that has tried decorative dating since I've talked about it on at the Joyful Sojourn. Love to know, do you guys decorative date with me? Who's tried it? So we're just going to do, let's do next week. 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Kind of ran out of space there. Okay, so looking at this spread, we have tons of functionality on that spread. Let's add a little bit of flowers down here and a little bit of ripped paper, ripped washi. I just feel like I need a little bit more. So I'm going to add a piece of ripped washi down on this bottom. Then I'm going to go back and just, we need a little peekaboo. We need a little bit of a balance. I'm going to go back to my clear stickers. And one of the things I wanted to highlight was cutting stickers, specifically to put them up against boxes. But I don't think we're going to, I don't know if we have time for that in this video or in this live. Let's go back to this guy. And I'm just going to add some more, just a little bit of florals here. Now, some people will use a craft knife to lay their sticker down and then cut it on the paper. I, more often than not, actually cut my sticker before I lay it down. So I usually just guesstimate how much of the flower I want to show, and then I cut at that point. In this case, I'm just going to cut it in half-ish. And then I have a straight edge that you can butt right up against the edge of the paper. You can totally lay all your stickers down and then cut the page, that's fine. But I often will just take the time to cut the sticker first, and then don't throw away your scraps of stickers. If you've cut a piece of flower, it might be worth keeping. You might want to use it again. In this particular case, I'm gonna butt it on the bottom and just layer it right there. We need a little bit more color, maybe a stem. So I'm going to grab this guy, and I think about like where I want it to go. Maybe here. So I'm just gonna freehand cut it, create that straight edge, and then butt that straight edge right up against the edge of the paper. And then take my bone and flatten it out. You guys see that there's a little naked space right here? That doesn't work for me. So something for me and my eye sees this, and I see a little naked space. So I am going to take a leaf. Let's just take this little leaf. I'm just gonna cut a chunk of it off and cut this down. Madison, how are we doing for time?
We are good. We have about 9 minutes left.
Oh boy. Okay. Well, I'm gonna finish this up. I want to make sure if you do something on one side of the page, you have to do it on the other side. Or if you have an element on this side, you have to bring it in. So we have washi over here. So we have to add washi on this side. It's just a matter of balance. Unless you are intentionally wanting something that is very Picasso, you definitely want things represented on both sides. So I'm going to take my washi tape again. We are almost done, friends. If I had more time, what I would do to this spread is actually add more flowers and fill this whole section in. So this is really bulky, and then I'd flow it out a little bit more. But when the Happy Planner reached out asking if I would be available to do this class, at first I was super nervous, excuse me, because, you know, live with people is intimidating, really intimidating. And the thought of doing it for an hour, incredibly intimidating. And then I thought about it and I was like, girl, your YouTube videos are often over an hour, unedited. So I think that you can hang out with folks for an hour. Let's see if you can keep it to an hour. So I appreciate your time so much, friends. I'm actually going to leave this open. Let's add, so we laid the washi down. I'm going to find some other, these paper washi strips are so fun to add extra layers with as well. In fact, we could, shall we? Just for kicks. I'm going to take one of these washi strips. They're just long stickers. And I'm going to put this on top of the washi tape, just like that. So we've got the washi sticker, and then we have a little bit of grid underneath it that just adds a little bit of zhuzh, a little bit of something. And that would be a great opportunity as well to use your bullet lists. I'm so tempted. There are bullet lists, you guys. I'm going to grab it. This is a bullet list. It's supposed to be functional. I like doing things in threes. So I'm going to take that bullet list and put it down like washi, because why not? I'm going to take one more and do the same thing here. And I'm putting the third piece where the meeting place is of the two previous items. So I said earlier, sets of 3 are awesome. I like putting a sticker down, putting a sticker on top of it, and then you have to have one more to seal right in the middle. So threes, think of threes, everybody. Threes, threes, threes. Okay, so we've got kind of a fun element there. Also fun is Sadie barking in the background. My apologies. I'm going to go with these black boxes here just to kind of throw in a little bit. Ooh, I don't like that. I'm going to peel it off. We might actually lose. Ooh, how would I fix this? I mean, we could do wonky, but we're going to lose. We're going to lose that layering technique if we do that. I'm not going to do that. We could leave it open. Or we could put the boxes, we could put them there. Or maybe we have a different shape. Ooh, we've got the diamonds. This is tricky. I want to do the layers of 3, but kind of messes up where I'm going to put my boxes. I think we got to get rid of the bullet list, but I wanted to show you guys that is an option. I'm going to look these up because it doesn't work. I want this to be functional. I want to have headers for my layouts. So I'm going to grab these guys again, and I'm going to lay them down where I'm going to leave these straight, actually, just because I think that looks cool. Are people actually planning? Are you guys planning out there? Are you watching? Do you have a planner with you in front of you? Let me know. How are we doing on time, Madison?
We're at 4:56.
Oh my goodness. Y'all, we are running out of time. Oh, how can I do this quickly? Well, this is a really pretty box. We could put that there. Oh, I wanted to show one more technique. Oh, there's not enough time. These are paper boxes that are decorative. A lot of the Happy Planner sticker books have stickers like this, especially for vertical planners. And I don't use a vertical planner. So I have started ripping my paper boxes. So here we go. I'm ripping this box. And I'm going to put this ripped box right here. Just for a little texture, I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to put this over here as like a header sticker. And then We're just creating some layers, layers on layers. I'm going to put this guy here for additional planning space. And we'll do one more box right here for my headers. Oh my gosh, you guys, I think I have to stop, right? Are we out of time?
We have just about 3 minutes left. If anyone has questions for Elizabeth before we have to end, feel free to jump in the chat and we can watch her put her final touches on. But everyone's been so excited to see this. Everyone loves the rule of 3. So there's so much fun tips and knowledge being shared in the chat. So we love getting to see that.
Good, 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 good. Y'all, if you wanted more decorative time, if I do this again, we won't go over so many different layouts. I just really wanted to make sure that you guys could see all the different options. One last thing I'm going to do here, actually, I'm going to take this sticker. It says Create Joy. I'm going to split up the words and I'm going to take my tweezers and I'm going to put Create Joy right in the middle, right here. My box is kind of crooked, but I'm going to flatten this out. All right, so you guys were able to see live in real time this dashboard layout. I have plenty of room for my tasks. I've got some note space. I've got additional note space here. And then I have so much functionality with my my days over here. And then if I want to do meal planning here, we'll just put meals here. Any of the dinners that we have going on this week, I will put here. So if you guys want to hang out with me again, you can find me at The Joyful Sojourn on Instagram, YouTube, and very reluctantly TikTok. And if you want to see more from the Happy Planner and Michaels, definitely speak up and let everybody know. Gosh, you guys, what a pleasure it's been to spend time with you. I hope that you have a good week. And again, if you are in Florida or on the East Coast, I'm praying for you guys. Please be safe out there. And yeah. Yay. Hope you guys enjoyed. I appreciate you.
Thank you guys so much. And reminder that this video will be posted on Michael's YouTube if you want to go back to check out any of the amazing tips Elizabeth shared today. So be sure to check that out. And thank you guys so much for joining.
Thank you.